Hello there guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Rogue Witcher. Thank you for joining me. In today's video we're covering episode 2 of the Character Chronicles, where each week I delve into the background of a character from a TV show or movie that we are covering. We are currently covering the Pendragon Cycle. So episode 2 is all about Morgian, the Queen of Air and Darkness herself, one of the, in my personal favourites from the show. Not a lot of screen time as well, considering over the 7 episodes, but really, in my opinion, is one of the highlights. Really excited to delve deep into her, give you some backstory, some thoughts on her powers and abilities, and maybe some of her motives. Just before we do get into the episode though, guys, if we can hit that like button. Likes are so important for small channels like me, and I'm getting sometimes like 500 views on the video, but only like 8 likes. So I'm going to try and set a like target of 20 likes. Let's see if we can hit it. Right then guys, no more waffling. Let's get into the Queen of Air and Darkness herself. Morgian. Daughter of King Avalak, princess to Atlantis, born into royalty, is no easy feat. Her mother, Lil, a sort of low-level mage, you know, not super prolific like Merlin or Taliesin, but sort of more earth and natural sort of magic, you know, earth and herbs and that sort of thing, but still magic nonetheless. So she does come from a line with magic ability, which is always important. Obviously her older sister Caris, the savior Atlantis, quite a figure to live up to and follow, which is sort of what leads her, I believe, down her path, if you will. Life on Atlantis wasn't exactly fun for her, even though she was very young, having to live up to, as I said, the figure of Caris. Her father didn't really show her much attention or time. I believe this is because obviously he remarried and maybe didn't quite love his new wife as much as his first wife, and sort of maybe, I don't know, I've not read that part of the book, but I'm guessing has to do with more of a marrying because he has to, because he's the king and has to further the line and that sort of thing. So she sort of grew up in a bit of resentment for how she was treated, and I think that's where her sort of thirst for power and attention first spawned. Her mentor, Anube, he also mentored Caris early on, although she didn't really have too much interest and aptitude for it. I think this is the perfect person for Morgian, because it's where she first uses sort of her, because she is very, very good at manipulating and deceiving people, and so was managed to trick Anube. I can't pronounce his name properly, by the way. Anube, whatever his name is, and sort of uses her sort of manipulative powers into getting him to teach her as much and all as possible to help further her cause in her quest for power. Family tree. Later in life, she does go on to marry Loth, has a stepson called Lot, and an actual son called Urien. Now, we see this briefly in the Pendragon Cycle. It's not really touched on too much. I'm guessing, again, reading between the lines, she goes off from, the kingdom where the Atlanteans domain in Britain, off to try and make her own power play and her own moves in her quest for power. Obviously marries a low-level king who has a small kingdom, starts to manipulate him, pretty easily when you look like that, into her agenda, because they are going to back Hengist against the Britons. What her absolute motive is, I don't think she properly says it, but I'm guessing it's to get more power. If that he can take out most of the Britons, Hengist, and then maybe she'll look to remove him later down the line, that sort of thing, using someone to do some of the gritty work, and then she comes in to take over later. That sort of is where I am going with that. Powers and abilities. Morgian is a dark sorceress, but she isn't born with, say, innate natural magic. She does have a little bit from her mother's side, but it's something that really needs to be practiced and, really pursued. Unlike Merlin, Taliesin, who are just born through bloodline and lineage of raw power and magic, she has to use some sort of dark arts, if you will, to further fuel her power. She uses a lot of sort of books and talismans and trinkets from Atlantis. You see, obviously, in the show, the Seeing Stone, she gets Anube to really show her how to use that. I believe from a friend, Jeremy Rowe, thanks for the information, she found Bredis's book, Bresis, actually, sorry, which is Caris's mother, and she uses it to sort of learn spells and how to further her own power. and uses it for obviously more sinister and evil means than what is intended. And yeah, so she has that sort of going for her. She uses blood magic and sacrifice. We see that a couple of times in the show. We see it early on with the horse babe that Taliesin saved. We see it later on in the show when, unbelievably, she sacrificed her own son, Urien. She does this to just further her power. As I say, think of her as like a battery, and she needs these things to top her up. Control over dark spirits is something I read that she has the power to do. I don't think we really saw it in the show, but apparently that is one of her abilities. We do see her converse with the skeleton sort of god at the end of the show. I believe that's more, again, blood sacrifice and ritual, as she did with her son, to get his power, to lend it, to fuel her own. So we know that she can sort of see with the Seeing Stone things that are happening and potential futures. We know that using some of this spiritual and ritual magic, she can look like someone else, as she looks like Ganyeda and Caris when she tries to trick Taliesin. So she has a multitude of powers. I mean, I'd say her best is probably her manipulation and her deceivingness and cunning over people, because she really sort of lures them in with a false sense of security. Like, Anubi started wanting to teach her, and by the end was almost having no choice but to, because she twisted him to her will. She hates Caris, like I said, the resentment that she got, you know, all the limelight for saving, even though Caris saved her life, she resented her for it anyway, because she said, what for? To be ignored, to be outcasted, to not be loved. So she hates Caris as well, because she wanted Taliesin and Taliesin chose Caris. So this jealousy and rage and just quest for attention and power is just throughout, and it just escalates and escalates and escalates. Some of her most notable things from the show is she murders Taliesin. That is a huge loss on us, the viewers, the story itself. She says to Merlin that she wasn't trying to kill Taliesin, so we to believe that she was trying to kill Caris, perhaps, but she did kill him. I think she did mean to, you know, he shunned her, he chose Caris, she was jealous of Caris. Perfect way to upset her is to go and kill her lover, her husband. So she kills Taliesin. I still think, and again, it's not confirmed, I think she has a hand in Ganyeda's death, personally. The fact that they just knew where to find her at that specific time. It could have just been maybe potluck. I think for the Seeing Stone, maybe it's explained better in the book. It's not really answered in the show, or I think it's alluded to, but I think she used the Seeing Stone, her relationship with Hengist as well, to get the men, used her magic to see where she could be, and then sent them there to really, obviously, hurt Merlin, you know, son of Taliesin, again, jealous of another family member with power and natural gifts, and someone she wants to beat, destroy, and maybe take his power or manipulate him to her will. At the end of the day, she's a bit of a sociopath. She kills her own son, she sacrifices him, all in vain, as it doesn't even work. So, yeah, she's clearly not mentally stable, but I think the actress who played the character absolutely smashed it out of the park. I mean, she was really deceiving, like I say, cunning, manipulative, but also very, at times, you actually felt for her in some aspects, the way she came across. Absolutely stunning looking wise, and just one of my favorite characters, and that's the reason I really hope we do get more seasons, is I think her character and her arc of villainy going up against Merlin. I mean, we only got that one scene, but it was fantastic, where they to and froed with quips and insults and you know, trying to manipulate and thwart each other. I thought was absolutely fantastic television. So yeah, really hoping we get a season 2. I also want to know how she might respond with her stepson, who betrayed her, you know, sort of saw what she was. Didn't really care too much for his brother, his half-brother, clearly, because he didn't warn him, but yeah. No, very interesting character. The Queen of Air and Darkness, I think, is a very fitting name for her. A very powerful and prevalent character in the show. I really enjoyed her and seeing her journey. I think I'd probably say she was my second favourite character overall, you know, because there's just so many layers to her, and I don't think we've seen all of them. So yeah, fantastic character, and really, really well played by the actress. Alright then guys, that was the episode. That was Morgian. I hope you liked it. If you did, smash a like on the video on your way out. Comment down below what you thought of Morgian. Did you enjoy her? Did you not? Did you like this episode and what I covered? Did I miss anything that you'd like me to speak about? Drop that in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't. this close to getting 500. Four away, guys. We're getting very close. As always, thanks for watching and all the support. I really appreciate it. Shout out again to Jeremy Rowe with all his information and helping me. Really do appreciate it. I will let you go, guys. I've been the Rogue Witcher. As always, I will catch you next time. Adios.